Maya wiped the sweat from her forehead as she restocked the shelves at Corner Mart. The small convenience store sat on the edge of town, where the nice neighborhoods ended and the forgotten parts began. She had been working there for 3 months now, ever since her mother got sick and couldn't work anymore. At 16, Maya should have been worrying about prom dresses and college applications, but instead she counted pennies and worked double shifts. The afternoon sun beat down through the store's dirty windows. Maya's worn sneakers squeaked against the linoleum floor as she moved boxes of cereal from the stockroom to the shelves. Her school uniform was tucked away in her locker in the back. She had barely made it to her shift on time after running from the bus stop. The buses in her neighborhood always ran late if they came at all. Mr. the store owner watched from behind the counter. He was a heavy-set man with kind eyes who had given Maya a chance when nobody else would hire a teenager without experience. He knew about her mother's illness, about the medical bills piling up, about the electricity that got shut off last month. He paid her under the table and let her take home expired food that couldn't be sold. "You okay, Maya?" Mr. called out. "You've been quiet today." Maya forced a smile. "Just tired. Mr. P didn't sleep much last night. Mama was coughing again." The bell above the door chimed. Maya looked up to see Mrs., one of their regular customers, shuffling in with her canvas shopping bags. The elderly woman smiled at Maya and headed straight for the produce section. Maya finished with the cereal and moved to help her. "How's your mother doing, sweetheart?" Mrs. asked in her gentle voice. "She's hanging in there," Maya replied, carefully selecting the best apples for Mrs. Spag. "The new medicine seems to be helping a little." Mrs. patted Maya's hand. "You're a good daughter. Your mama is lucky to have you." After Mrs. left, the store settled into its usual afternoon lull. Maya took the opportunity to study for her chemistry test. She had placed her textbook under the counter, stealing glances at it between customers. Education was her way out. She had promised herself that. Good grades meant scholarships, and scholarships meant college, and college meant a better life for her and her mother. The roar of motorcycle engines shattered the quiet. Maya looked up to see a group of bikers pulling into the parking lot. There were about 8 of them, all wearing leather vests with patches. Even from inside the store, Maya could see the skull logo on their backs. Hell's Angels. She had heard about them, seen them riding through town, but never this close. Mr. tensed behind the counter. "Just be polite and everything will be fine," he said quietly. The bikers filed into the store. They were big men, tattooed and weathered, with gray in their beards and stories in their eyes. But they weren't rowdy. They moved through the aisles, picking up snacks, drinks, and road trip supplies. Maya kept her head down, focusing on her work. One of the bikers, a massive man with a long beard and arms covered in tattoos, approached the counter with a basket full of items. His vest identified him as Razor. Despite his intimidating appearance, his voice was surprisingly gentle when he spoke. "Hot day for working kid," he said to Maya as she rang up his items. "Yes, sir," Maya replied politely. "That'll be $43.50. Razor pulled out his wallet and handed her 2 20s and a 10. As Maya counted out his change, she noticed a photo tucked into his wallet. It was a little girl, maybe 7 or 8 years old, with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. "Your daughter?" Maya asked, then immediately worried she had overstepped. But Razor's face softened. "Yeah, that's my Lily. She's riding with her uncle today on the back roads, wanted her to see the countryside." Pride filled his voice. Maya handed him his change and bags. "She's beautiful. Stay safe out there." "You too, kid. You're working hard. That's good. Keep it up." The bikers left as loudly as they had arrived, their engines rumbling back to life. Maya watched them go, thinking about how people weren't always what they seemed. These tough-looking bikers were just regular people under all that leather. The rest of the afternoon passed slowly. A few more customers trickled in. Maya swept the floors, restocked the coolers, and studied her chemistry notes whenever she could. At 5 o'clock, her shift would end and she could go home to check on her mother. But at 4:30, everything changed. Maya was organizing the magazine rack when she heard the screech of tires and the sickening crunch of metal on pavement. She ran to the window. Out on the main road, just past the parking lot, a motorcycle had gone down. It had skidded across the asphalt, leaving dark marks. A car had swerved to avoid it and ended up in the ditch. Without thinking, Maya dropped everything and ran outside. Mr. was right behind her, already on his phone calling for help. As they got closer, Maya's heart dropped. It was one of the bikers from earlier. He was on his knees on the pavement, his bike lying on its side several feet away. But he wasn't looking at his bike or checking his own injuries. He was bent over a small figure on the ground. It was a little girl, pigtails, gap-toothed smile in the photo, but not smiling now. "Lily," the biker was screaming. "Lily, baby, wake up." Maya recognized him immediately. It was Razor, and the little girl wasn't moving. Other motorists had stopped. Someone said an ambulance was coming, but Maya knew from the news that emergency services took forever to get to this part of town. 15 minutes minimum, maybe 20. She ran to them. Razor looked up, his face twisted in agony and fear. "She's not breathing. Oh God, she's not breathing." Maya had taken a CPR class at school last semester. It was part of their health education requirement. She had paid attention because her mother's condition made her worry about emergencies. But she had only practiced on a dummy, never on a real person, never on a child. But Lily wasn't breathing. "Let me help," Maya said, dropping to her knees beside the little girl. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was surprisingly steady. "I know CPR." Razor moved back, giving her room. His hands were covered in road rash, bleeding from where he had tried to shield his daughter when they went down. "Please," he begged, "please save her." Maya checked for a pulse the way she had been taught. There was one, weak and thready, but there. Lily's chest wasn't moving, though. She wasn't breathing. Her lips were starting to turn blue. Maya tilted Lily's head back gently, checking her airway. Nothing was blocking it. She placed her hands on Lily's small chest, positioning them the way the instructor had shown them. For a child, you only used one hand. Compressions had to be firm, but not too hard, 1/3 the depth of the chest. "Call out if you see the ambulance," Maya said to the growing crowd. Then she started compressions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She counted in her head, keeping the rhythm steady. After 30 compressions, she gave 2 rescue breaths, tilting Lily's head back and breathing into her small mouth. Lily's chest rose and fell with Maya's breaths. Then back to compressions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maya's arms started to burn. Sweat dripped into her eyes. The pavement was hot under her knees. She could hear Razor crying, begging his daughter to wake up. She could hear other bikers arriving, their engines silencing as they realized what was happening. "Come on, Lily," Maya whispered between compressions. "Come on, sweetheart, breathe." 30 compressions, 2 breaths. 30 compressions, 2 breaths. Maya's world narrowed to this rhythm. Nothing else existed. Not the crowd watching. Not the fear screaming in her head that she was doing it wrong. Not the fact that this was a real child, someone's daughter, someone's whole world. Just the compressions, just the breaths, just the desperate hope that it would be enough. She lost track of time. It might have been 2 minutes. It might have been 10. Her arms screamed. Her back ached, but she didn't stop. And then Lily coughed. It was a small sound, barely there, but it was the most beautiful thing Maya had ever heard. Lily's chest convulsed and she coughed again, her body fighting for air. Maya quickly turned her on her side as Lily gasped and coughed, drawing in ragged breaths. "That's it, baby," Maya said, her voice shaking now. "Breathe, just breathe." Lily's eyes fluttered open. They were blue, confused, scared. "Daddy," she whimpered. Razor was there instantly, cradling his daughter's head in his hands. "I'm here, baby. I'm here. You're okay. You're going to be okay." The ambulance sirens finally wailed in the distance, getting closer. Maya sat back on her heels, her whole body trembling now that the adrenaline was fatting. Her hands were shaking so badly she had to clasp them together. Mister put a hand on her shoulder. "You did good, Maya, real good." The other bikers had formed a circle around them. They were big, tough men with scars and tattoos, men who had seen hard things in hard lives, and several of them were crying. One of them, a man with Reaper on his vest, knelt beside Maya. "Kid," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You just saved that little girl's life. Do you understand that?" Maya looked at Lily, who was breathing on her own now, clinging to her father. The blue was fatting from her lips. Her eyes were clearer. She was going to be okay. "I just did what I learned in school," Maya said quietly. The ambulance pulled into the parking lot and the paramedics rushed over with their equipment. They checked Lily's vitals, started an IV, and prepared to transport her to the hospital. Razor wouldn't let go of his daughter's hand. He rode in the ambulance with her, but before he climbed in, he turned to Maya. "What's your name?" he asked. "Maya, Maya." Razor locked eyes with her. "Maya, I won't forget that name. You hear me? I won't forget." Then the ambulance doors closed and they were gone, sirens wailing as they raced toward the hospital. The other bikers lingered. They asked Maya questions about what happened, made sure she was okay. One of them gave her a bottle of water. Another one asked for her full name and where she worked. Maya answered, still in a daze. Finally, the crowd dispersed. The police came to take statements. The tow truck came for the motorcycle. Slowly, things returned to normal, but Maya knew nothing would ever be quite the same. She had held a child's life in her hands, and somehow, miraculously, she hadn't failed. When she finally made it home that night, her mother was asleep in her recliner, the television playing softly. Maya covered her with a blanket and went to her own room. She sat on her bed, her chemistry textbook forgotten, and let herself cry. She cried from the fear, from the relief, from the weight of what had happened. She had saved a life today. A little girl was alive because Maya had paid attention in health class, because she had been brave enough to act when it mattered most. 3 days passed before Maya heard anything about Lily. She had gone to school, worked her shifts at Corner Mart, and tried to focus on her normal routine. But her mind kept drifting back to that afternoon, to the feeling of doing chest compressions on a child who wasn't breathing, to the moment when Lily had coughed and opened her eyes. Maya was restocking the cooler with drinks when Mister called out to her. "Maya, someone's here to see you." She turned around, her heart skipping a beat. Standing in the doorway was Razor, but he looked different. He wasn't wearing his leather vest with the patches. Instead, he wore a clean button-down shirt and jeans. His long beard was neatly combed, and he was smiling. "Hey, Maya," he said, his voice warm. "Got a minute?" Maya nodded, wiping her hands on her work apron. Mister gestured that it was okay, so she walked over to where Razor stood near the entrance. "I wanted to come by and thank you properly," Razor said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. "This doesn't even begin to cover what you did, but the club wanted you to have it." Maya opened the envelope. Inside was a stack of $100 bills. Her eyes went wide. "I can't take this," she said immediately, trying to hand it back. "I just did what anyone would do." Razor gently pushed her hand back. "Most people wouldn't have done anything. They would have stood there and waited for the ambulance. You acted. You saved my daughter's life." His voice cracked slightly on the last word. "Lily is home now. The doctors said she's going to make a full recovery because someone started CPR right away. That someone was you." Tears pricked Maya's eyes. "How much is here?" $5,000 from the whole club. Everyone contributed. Maya's hands shook. $5,000. That was more money than she had ever seen in her life. That could pay off the medical bills. That could get the electricity turned back on properly. That could buy her mother's medications for months. "I don't know what to say," Maya whispered. "You don't have to say anything, but there's more." Razor pulled out a business card. "This is my number. You or your family ever need anything, and I mean anything, you call me. The angels don't forget our debts, Maya. Your family now." Before Maya could respond, the bell above the door chimed again. This time, a small tornado of hair and pink clothes burst into the store. Lily ran straight to Maya and wrapped her arms around her waist. "You're the girl who saved me," Lily said, looking up with those bright blue eyes. "Daddy showed me your picture. He said you brought me back when I stopped breathing." Maya knelt down so she was at Lily's level. "Hi, Lily. I'm so glad you're okay. You look much better than the last time I saw you." Lily's mother came in behind her, a woman with kind eyes and worry lines etched into her forehead. She was holding a homemade cake covered in pink frosting. "I'm Sarah," she said. "Razor's wife. I wanted to thank you myself. I wanted to look you in the eyes and tell you that you gave me back my daughter." Sarah's voice broke and she started crying. Maya stood up and found herself being pulled into a tight hug. Sarah sobbed into her shoulder and Maya held her, understanding the depth of a mother's gratitude. If something happened to her own mother, Maya would be devastated. Sarah had almost lost her child, and Maya had been there to prevent it. When Sarah finally pulled back, she was smiling through her tears. "This cake is for you. It's Lily's favorite, chocolate with strawberry frosting. It's not much, but I wanted to make you something." "It's perfect," Maya said, accepting the cake. "Thank you." Lily tugged on Maya's sleeve. "Can you come to my birthday party? It's in 2 weeks. I'm going to be 8. Daddy said I get to have a big party because I'm alive to have it." Maya looked at Razor and Sarah unsure. They both nodded encouragingly. "We'd love to have you," Sarah said. "Please come, it would mean the world to Lily." "Okay," Maya agreed. "I'll be there." After they left, Maya showed the envelope to Mister. His eyes went wide when he saw the money. Maya, that's incredible. What are you going to do with it? Pay bills, Maya said simply. Help my mama, maybe save a little for college. That evening when Maya got home, she told her mother everything. Her mother, weak from illness but strong in spirit, cried and hugged her daughter tightly. I'm so proud of you, baby, she whispered. You saved that little girl, and these people are blessing you back. That's how the world is supposed to work. The money made an immediate difference. Maya paid the overdue electricity bill and put extra toward the medical debt. She bought her mother's prescriptions without having to choose which ones they could afford this month. She even bought herself a new pair of shoes since her old ones had holes in the soles. But the real change came in the following weeks. Word spread through the neighborhood about what Maya had done. The local newspaper ran a story with her photo, calling her a hero. Her classmates treated her differently, with more respect. Teachers smiled at her in the hallways. The night of Lily's birthday party arrived. Maya borrowed a nice dress from her neighbor and took 2 buses to get to Razor's house on the other side of town. She expected a backyard barbecue, maybe some kids from Lily's school. What she found was much bigger. Razor's property was large, with a house, a garage, and a huge backyard that had been transformed into a party space. There were balloons, streamers, tables full of food, and dozens of people. Many of them were bikers from the club, their motorcycles parked in neat rows along the driveway. But there were also families, children running around, and regular neighbors. Lily spotted Maya immediately and ran over, dragging her into the party. You came. I told everyone you were coming. Maya was introduced to what felt like 100 people. She met other members of the Hells Angels Club and their families. She met Razor's parents, who hugged her and thanked her with tears in their eyes. She met Lily's grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. One of the bikers, a man called Hawk, pulled Maya aside during the party. You know, what you did isn't just about saving Lily, he said. You showed respect and courage. You didn't judge us by our leather and our bikes. You just saw a child who needed help and you helped. That means something to us. As the sun set and the party continued, Razor gathered everyone around. He had Lily stand next to him, and he called Maya up to the front. I want everyone here to hear this, Razor said, his voice carrying across the yard. This young lady, Maya, saved my daughter's life. She could have frozen. She could have waited for someone else to do something. But she acted. She knew what to do, and she did it. The crowd applauded. Maya felt her face flush with embarrassment. The Hells Angels take care of family, Razor continued. And Maya is family now. If she ever needs anything, we're there. That's a promise. He looked directly at Maya. You've got brothers and sisters now, kid, a whole lot of them. The bikers cheered, and Maya felt overwhelmed by the acceptance and gratitude. These were people society often feared or judged, but they were showing her nothing but love and respect. As the party wound down, Sarah pulled Maya aside. I need to tell you something, she said. Razor and I have been talking. We know about your situation, about your mother being sick and you working to help support her. Maya felt embarrassed. She didn't like people knowing how poor they were. We're managing, she said quietly. I'm sure you are, but you shouldn't have to carry that burden alone. We want to help. Sarah handed her another envelope. This is from a fundraiser the club did. They took donations from members and their families. There's $15,000 here for your mother's medical care. Maya's knees nearly buckled. I can't accept this, it's too much. You can and you will, Sarah said firmly but kindly. You gave me back my daughter. Let us help your mother. Let us be there for you the way you were there for Lily. Through tears, Maya accepted the envelope. She hugged Sarah tightly, unable to find words big enough for her gratitude. Over the next few months, life changed dramatically for Maya. The money from the Hells Angels allowed her mother to get better medical treatment. With proper care and medication, her mother's condition improved. She wasn't cured, but she was stable and stronger than she had been in years. The club members started coming into Corner Mart regularly. They were good customers, always polite to Maya and Mister. Some of them got to know Maya and would ask about her studies, her mother's health, and her college plans. When they found out Maya wanted to study nursing, they encouraged her and told her she'd be amazing at it. Reaper, the biker who had knelt beside her after she saved Lily, took a particular interest in Maya's education. He had a daughter in college, and he knew how expensive it was. One day, he came into the store with an application. It's for a scholarship, he explained. The club has a scholarship fund for kids in the community who want to go to college. We want you to apply. Maya filled out the application with Reaper's help. She wrote an essay about her dreams of becoming a nurse, about how she wanted to help people the way she had helped Lily. She wrote about her mother's illness teaching her the importance of compassionate medical care. 2 months later, she got the letter. She had been awarded a full scholarship to the community college's nursing program. Books, tuition, everything covered. Maya cried when she read the letter. Mr. cried, her mother cried. It felt like a miracle. But Maya knew it wasn't a miracle. It was the result of her own courage and hard work, combined with the gratitude and support of people who valued what she had done. She had saved a life, and in doing so, she had changed her own life. Lily became a regular fixture in Maya's life. Sarah would bring her by the store sometimes, and Lily would sit at the counter doing homework while Maya worked. They developed a special bond. Maya was like a big sister to Lily, and Lily looked up to Maya with pure adoration. On Maya's 17th birthday, the club threw her a party at Razor's house. It was smaller than Lily's party, but no less meaningful. They gave her gifts, books for college, a laptop for her studies, and a beautiful leather jacket with her name embroidered on it. "You're one of us now," Razor said as he presented the jacket. "You wear this and people know you're protected, your family." Maya wore the jacket proudly. She found that when she walked through certain neighborhoods wearing it, people treated her differently. The Hells Angels had respect in the community, and now Maya had that protection too. Her mother met the club members at the party, and she was overwhelmed by their kindness. She hugged Razor and Sarah and thanked them for everything they had done for her daughter. "You've given her hope," her mother said. "You've shown her that good people come in all kinds of packages." As Maya started college, balancing classes with her job at Corner Mart, she thought often about that day in the parking lot. One moment had changed everything. Her decision to act, to use the skills she had learned, to not be afraid, had created a ripple effect that touched so many lives. She was no longer just the poor black girl working at the convenience store. She was Maya, the young woman who saved Lily's life. She was a nursing student with a bright future. She was part of a family that stretched beyond blood, connected by respect and gratitude. 2 years had passed since the day Maya saved Lily's life. Maya was now 18, in her second year of nursing school, and working part-time at Corner Mart while also doing clinical rotations at the local hospital. Her mother's health had stabilized with the proper medical care they could now afford. Life had transformed in ways Maya could never have imagined. The relationship with the Hells Angels Club had deepened over time. Maya wasn't just someone they had helped. She had become genuinely part of their extended family. She attended club events, birthday parties, and holiday gatherings. Lily had become like a little sister to her, and Razor and Sarah treated her like a daughter. But Maya was about to learn just how far the club's loyalty extended. It started with a phone call on a cold November evening. Maya was studying for her anatomy final when her phone rang. It was her mother calling from work. She had gotten well enough to return to her job as a hotel housekeeper part-time. "Baby, don't panic," her mother said, but Maya could hear the fear in her voice. "But there's been some trouble. The hotel manager just told me that the building where we live is being sold. They're tearing it down to build something new. We have 30 days to move out." Maya's stomach dropped. Their apartment wasn't much, but it was home and it was affordable. Finding another place they could afford would be nearly impossible. The neighborhood was gentrifying and rents were skyrocketing. "We'll figure it out, Mama," Maya said, trying to sound confident. "Let me make some calls." She spent the next 3 days looking at apartments. Everything was too expensive. The few places they could afford were in dangerous neighborhoods or in terrible condition. Some landlords took one look at Maya's mother's medical history and found reasons not to rent to them. Others wanted first month, last month, security deposit, and a credit check that Maya knew they would fail. Maya was sitting in her car outside, yet another disappointing apartment viewing when she saw Hawk riding by on his motorcycle. He noticed her and pulled over. "Hey, Maya, what's wrong? You look stressed," he said, parking his bike and walking over. Maya explained the situation. Hawk listened carefully, his expression growing more serious. "Come by the clubhouse tonight," he said. 7 o'clock, we need to talk about this." The Hells Angels clubhouse was a large building on the outskirts of town. Maya had been there several times for events, but never for something like this. When she arrived that evening, she found not just Hawk, but Razor, Reaper, and about 15 other club members waiting. Razor gestured for her to sit. Hawk told us about your housing situation. We've been talking, and we have a proposal. Maya sat down, nervous and curious. Reaper owns several properties around town, Razor continued. One of them is a small house about 10 minutes from here. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, small yard. Nothing fancy, but it's solid and in a good neighborhood. Reaper leaned forward. My previous tenants just moved out last month. I was going to rent it out, but I'd rather have it go to someone I trust, someone whose family. I can't afford much, Maya said quietly. I'm still in school and my mom can only work part-time. We know your situation, Reaper said. Here's what I'm thinking. $400 a month, that includes utilities, no security deposit, no credit check. Month to month so you're not locked into a long lease. And if there are months when money is tight, we can work something out. Maya's eyes filled with tears. That's less than half what we're paying now for our apartment. That's the point, Hawk said. Your family, Maya, we take care of family. But there was more. Over the next hour, the club members laid out a plan that left Maya speechless. They would help her and her mother move. They would paint the house before Maya moved in. One of the members was a carpenter and would fix a few things that needed repair. Another member's wife was an interior decorator and wanted to help make the house feel welcoming. Why, Maya asked, overwhelmed. Why are you doing all this? Razor's expression grew emotional. 2 years ago, you saved my daughter's life, but it's more than that. You've shown us respect. You've never judged us. You've come to our events, gotten to know our families. You treat us like people, not stereotypes. And you're working hard to build a good life for yourself and your mother. That's the kind of person we want to support. Sarah, who had come to the meeting with Lily, spoke up. Maya, you're not just the girl who saved Lily. You're part of our community now. Lily talks about you constantly. She wants to be a nurse like you someday. You're a role model, not just for her, but for a lot of the kids in the club families. The following weekend, 20 bikers showed up at Maya's apartment building with trucks and trailers. They loaded up everything Maya and her mother owned in just a few hours. Maya's mother stood watching, tears streaming down her face, as these tough-looking men carefully wrapped her dishes, gently carried her furniture, and treated her possessions like treasures. At the new house, the transformation was remarkable. The club members had indeed painted it fresh colors. The carpenter had fixed the leaky faucet and squeaky doors. The yard had been cleaned up. Inside, there were new curtains, a stocked pantry of food, and even some furniture that various members had contributed. When Maya and her mother walked through their new home for the first time together, they both cried. It was small but beautiful, clean and safe, in a neighborhood where Maya's mother could walk to the bus stop without fear, where Maya could study in peace. I don't know how to thank these people, Maya's mother said, looking around the cozy living room. They say we're family, Mama, Maya replied, and family takes care of each other. Maya's graduation from the nursing program came that spring. She had worked incredibly hard, balancing school, work, and clinical rotations. Her grades were excellent, and she had already received job offers from 2 hospitals. The graduation ceremony was held in the college auditorium. Maya expected her mother to be there, and maybe missed her. What she didn't expect was to see nearly the entire Hell's Angels Club in attendance. They took up 3 full rows. Razor, Sarah, and Lily sat in the front. Behind them were Hawk, Reaper, and dozens of other members and their families. They were dressed nicely, no leather vests or club colors, just regular people coming to support someone they cared about. When Maya's name was called and she walked across the stage to receive her nursing diploma, the club members erupted in cheers. They whistled and clapped, standing up and celebrating like she was their own daughter. Maya saw her mother crying tears of joy. She saw Lily jumping up and down with excitement. She saw Razor wiping his eyes. In that moment, Maya understood fully what family meant. It wasn't just about blood. It was about people who showed up, who supported you, who celebrated your victories and helped you through your struggles. After the ceremony, there was a huge celebration at Razor's house. The club had thrown Maya a graduation party. There was food, music, and a cake decorated with a nursing cap. People gave speeches about how proud they were of her. Lily gave her a handmade card covered in glitter and stickers. Razor presented Maya with a gift from the entire club. It was a brand new stethoscope, top of the line, with her name engraved on it. Every nurse needs good tools, he said. We wanted you to have the best. But the most meaningful gift came from Lily. The 8-year-old stood up in front of everyone and read something she had written. Maya is my hero, Lily read from her paper. 2 years ago, I almost died, but Maya knew what to do and she saved me. Now I get to grow up. I get to go to school and play with my friends and hug my mom and dad. Because of Maya, I'm alive. She's the bravest person I know. And when I grow up, I want to be a nurse just like her so I can save people too. There wasn't a dry eye in the yard. Maya hugged Lily tightly, both of them crying. This little girl, who had been blue and lifeless on the pavement, was now healthy and happy and dreaming about her future. All because Maya had been brave for a few minutes on a hot afternoon. Maya started her job as a registered nurse at County Hospital's emergency department. It was challenging work, but she loved it. She was good at staying calm under pressure, at thinking clearly in emergencies. Her experience saving Lily had taught her that she could handle crisis situations. The club members made sure everyone at the hospital knew they had Maya's back. Razor came in one day with Sarah, not because anyone was hurt, but to introduce themselves to Maya's supervisor. Maya is family, Razor explained. If she ever needs anything or if anyone gives her trouble, you let us know. Maya's supervisor, a veteran nurse named Helen, was initially intimidated by Razor's appearance. But she quickly realized he was simply a father who wanted to make sure someone he cared about was being treated well. Maya is one of our best nurses, Helen told him. She's going to go far in this profession. And Maya did go far. Over the next few years, she gained a reputation as an excellent emergency nurse. She was calm, capable, and compassionate. Patients loved her. Doctors trusted her judgment. Her respected her work ethic. She never forgot where she came from or who had helped her along the way. Every month, she made sure to visit the club, to attend events, to maintain those relationships. She tutored some of the younger kids in the club families who were struggling in school. She talked to teenagers about the importance of learning CPR and first aid. She became a mentor, just as the club members had been mentors to her. Lily grew up with Maya as a constant presence in her life. By the time Lily turned 12, she was volunteering at the hospital where Maya worked, doing whatever tasks they would allow a young volunteer to do. She was serious about wanting to become a nurse, and Maya encouraged her every step of the way. Maya's mother's health continued to improve with proper medical care. She was able to work more hours and eventually paid off all her medical debt. She was proud of her daughter beyond words and grateful every day for the community that had embraced them. One evening, 5 years after Maya had saved Lily's life, there was a special ceremony at the Hells Angels clubhouse. The club was recognizing members and friends who had made significant contributions to the community. Maya was asked to attend, but didn't know why. Razor stood up in front of the assembled crowd. 5 years ago, a 16-year-old girl working at a convenience store saved my daughter's life. She didn't hesitate. She didn't worry about what people would think. She just acted. That girl was Maya. He gestured for Maya to stand. Since then, Maya has become more than just someone we're grateful to. She's become family. She's shown up for us, supported us, and never treated us as anything less than human. She's broken down stereotypes and built bridges. She's become a role model for our kids and a friend to all of us. Razor pulled out a custom leather vest. It was beautifully made with intricate stitching. On the back, it had a special patch. It wasn't the club's regular patch, but a unique design created just for Maya. It showed a heart with angel wings and said honorary sister and family forever. You're not a member of the club, Razor explained as he helped Maya put on the vest. But you're family. This vest says that wherever you go, whatever you do, you've got brothers and sisters who have your back, always. The entire club stood and applauded. Maya was crying, overwhelmed by the honor and the love these people had shown her. Sarah hugged her. Lily hugged her. One by one, club members came up to embrace her and welcome her officially as family. That night, Maya looked around at the faces of people who had changed her life as much as she had changed theirs. She thought about how one moment of courage had led to all of this. How being willing to help someone in need, regardless of what they looked like or who they were, had opened doors she never could have imagined. She thought about the girl she had been at 16, poor, struggling, worried about the future. And she looked at the woman she had become, educated, stable, surrounded by people who loved her. She had saved Lily's life, yes, but in many ways, Lily and her family had saved Maya's life too. The lesson was clear and powerful. Courage matters. Kindness matters. Being willing to act when someone needs help matters. And the relationships we build through those moments of compassion can change our lives in profound ways. Maya wore that vest proudly. She wore it to club events, to community gatherings, and sometimes just around town. People who knew what it meant would nod respectfully. Those who didn't would sometimes ask, and Maya would tell them the story. She told them about a hot afternoon when a little girl stopped breathing, about how knowledge and courage combine to save a life, about how gratitude and acceptance can build bridges between different worlds, about how family isn't always about blood, but about loyalty, respect, and love. Years later, when Maya became a nursing instructor herself, teaching new students CPR and emergency response, she always told them about Lily. She told them that the skills they were learning weren't just for passing tests. They were for saving lives, and you never knew when you might need to use them. Don't freeze when someone needs help, she would tell her students. Act, be brave, you might save a life, and in doing so, you might change your own life too. Lily did eventually become a nurse, following in Maya's footsteps. On the day Lily graduated from nursing school, Maya was there in the front row, wearing her vest, cheering louder than anyone. The two of them took a photo together in their scrubs, both wearing their stethoscopes, both smiling brightly. Razor had that photo framed and hung it in his house. It showed two nurses, two friends, two sisters bonded not by blood, but by a moment that had connected their lives forever. One had saved the other's life, and in return had found a family that would support her always. The story of Maya and Lily became something of a legend in the community. It was told at club gatherings, shared with new members, and passed down as an example of what the club valued: loyalty, courage, and taking care of those who take care of you. Maya's life was rich and full. She had a career she loved, a mother who was healthy, a home that was safe, and a family that stretched across the city in the form of bikers and their loved ones who would do anything for her. All because she had been willing to kneel on hot pavement and fight for a little girl's life. Sometimes late at night, when Maya finished a long shift at the hospital, she would think back to that day. She remembered how scared she had been, how her hands shook, how she wasn't sure she was doing it right. But she had done it anyway. She had been brave when it mattered most. And that bravery had rippled outward, creating waves of change that touched countless lives. It had shown a group of people that the world still had heroes. It had given a little girl a future. It had given Maya herself opportunities she never could have dreamed of. It had built bridges between communities that rarely intersected. In the end, Maya's story was simple but powerful. It was about seeing someone in need and choosing to help. About not letting fear or prejudice stop you from doing what's right. About how one moment of courage can echo through years and years, changing lives in ways both big and small. The poor black girl who worked at a convenience store had become a respected nurse, a beloved member of a community, and proof that heroes come in all colors, all backgrounds, all circumstances. All it took was the courage to act when it mattered most, and the willingness to see people for who they truly were rather than what they appeared to be. And every day, when Maya put on her scrubs and went to work, when she helped patients in the emergency department, when she taught students about saving lives, she carried that lesson with her. One person can make a difference. One moment can change everything. And family is built not just through blood, but through love, respect, and showing up when people need you most. And every time she saw Lily's smile or heard her laugh, Maya was reminded that every life has value. Every person deserves someone who will act when they need help. And sometimes, being brave for just a few minutes can change everything. Maya didn't know it yet, but her life had just changed in ways she couldn't imagine. The encounter with Razor and his daughter was just the beginning. The Hell's Angels didn't forget debts, and they didn't forget people who saved their family.